Welcome to the Thriving Mayor Show, the weekly broadcast featuring former and current mayors who are thriving, sharing their story, insight, wisdom, and viewpoint. Join us and comment on social media as we meet another of the superheroes we elect to lead the rejuvenation of our towns and cities and who serve us all. Visit www.thrivingmayor.com to learn more. Here we go. Good morning, everyone. Happy December 9th, 2020. My name is Michael Hubicki. I'm the host of the Thriving Mayor Show. Today's show is episode number 2. It's a little bit different in that I don't have a guest today. Today, I'm just going to spend a few minutes to give you a little bit about the story, my background, how what led me to creating the Thriving Mayor Initiative, a little bit about some of the components of it, my hopes, and some of the goals that I have for the initiative that really revolve around my being able to make the biggest positive difference that I possibly can, and in taking advantage of my experience and my expertise and some of the special gifts that I've been blessed with. This year in particular, 2020, has been super challenging for everyone around the globe, but I think especially for our mayors that who are elected by us. They work with us, usually shoulder to shoulder, hand in hand in our communities. They're the elected officials who are usually the closest to the people that vote for them. And in doing that and being in that position, they work the most closely with us and take advantage of the voices, the insights, the stories, the wants and expectations and the needs that the people in their community where they live have, so that they're very usually in tune, and that's why they're doing what they're doing. And I take my hats off to them. I have an immense amount of gratitude for our mayors that enter into an election knowing that there's only going to be one winner. Unlike a counselor, they are either going to win or lose, and that takes a huge amount of bravery and a huge amount of courage. So this year in particular, because of the pandemic and the increased isolation that our mayors are facing, it's the old adage is it's lonely at the top. And this year, I think especially some of the mayors I've talked to have found this particularly challenging and disheartening. That they've really felt that isolation this year because they haven't had that connection. And some of the things that I'm trying to do with Thriving Mayor is to provide for that connection, for that vehicle to help mayors connect in a little bit different ways with their communities and with each other. And we're going to talk a little bit about that Thriving Mayor Show, which is this show. And usually we're going to have a mayor on, but today I just wanted to talk a little bit about my goals and hopes for it, and the Thriving Mayor Skill Academy, which is for personal development and for mayors to work collaboratively in small groups online. The story, the process that led me to designing and creating the Thriving Mayor happened over probably about 14 months into 2017 and into 2018. And I was enrolled in a really interesting entrepreneurial mastermind. And in that mastermind, they were encouraging us to find our big why, to look at our story, what makes us unique, what makes us special, how do we bring our, sometimes called our special sauce, to the world to make the biggest difference that we can make. And on that journey over those 12 months or so, I basically created a different business idea every month. So at the end of that year, I had 12 business ideas, which were interesting, and I thought, maybe I could make a go of it. But they didn't speak to my heart. They didn't speak to what's the biggest difference in the world that I could make. How do I increase maximize my impact, my ripple in the world. And I did a really interesting exercise one day that I found, I think, on Joe Polish's, he had talked about it on one of his podcasts. And after I did that exercise, it really helped me to discover that I wanted to try to help our politicians, and in a way that help them thrive. So I then had to go back and figure out, well, how could I best do that? And I created this Venn diagram where I looked at 8 different attributes for my ideal politician. And they were things like they have to have a growth mindset, they have to work, be in close proximity to the people that elect them, hopefully be nonpartisan, so they're standing on their own laurels. They're their own people. There's not party politics involved in the situation, and things like that. And as I went through that process and I zeroed in on the middle of that Venn diagram, mayors became the obvious choice for me to work with, which then really became so clear and obvious to me after having retired from being a landscape architect and for 31 years working hand in hand with mayors and councils and communities and the people that design and build projects in our cities and towns, which is what I did. And really got to see firsthand at council meetings and dealing with staff and trying to move projects through the process, that how challenging it can be for a mayor. And the mayor is the quarterback, is the leader, is the head coach. The mayor has to wear all of these hats that he or she has to be able to interchange very quickly. And it was super fun and really dynamic to be in this environment, going into the community and talking with the mayor and council and finding out what is the best fit in this site. How do we turn this piece of property into a beautiful animated landscape, whether it was a park or a civic square, a trail, a waterfront, a skate park, linear parks, things like that. So really, really interesting. That experience that I've been able to leverage over the years and build some award-winning projects through was, I never wanted to leave that. I wanted to continue to bring that to communities. Then about 15 years ago, I started coaching. And my initial foray into coaching wasn't super successful because I didn't really understand how to be a great coach, a coach who could get the most out of the coachee. And I started with my daughter's soccer team. And I didn't really understand how the coach, I understood the techniques and the strategy and the tactics of soccer, but then dealing with these athletes, these young athletes, how do you get the most out of them? And it was eye-opening to then start into the coach certification process. Really how my mindset shifted from being just a technical person to say, this is how you do it, to being a coach, to be able to tap into an athlete's and a person's intrinsic motivation. And that's to find the joy in what they're doing. And it's not about winning, which is external motivation. It's really about how do you create that joy and that care inside the person. And that journey started with certifications at the grassroots level in community sport coaching. And it led through to level 3 with the Canadian Coaching Association, getting a master's degree in coaching education from Ohio University. And as the more that I learned about coaching, the more I learned I needed to learn and I didn't know about coaching. And coaching is a lifelong journey, which is very rewarding and really exciting and interesting. And that's the self-development part of it. The super rewarding part of it is to be able to deal with student athletes and leaders and mayors and others as I move through my coaching journey. So really looking forward to that. I brought up the word mindset earlier, which was another big light bulb moment for me. And that was in 2013 when I was doing my master's degree at Ohio. One of our first projects was a book report. And our professor gave us a number of different books. And I chose the book Mindset by Carol Dweck. And I'd heard mindset a lot. I didn't know the theory of it. And after I read that book, there was a big light bulb for me that went off. That a lot of my life I'd been fighting a fixed mindset. I thought that I couldn't really improve. If I wasn't going to be the best, then I shouldn't do it. And I remembered back to some of the times when I was younger and being in sports, especially, and my friends would come and say, "Hey, Mike, would you do this? Could you think you could play goalie as an example?" And I'd never played goalie before. So I said, no, I don't think I can do that because I couldn't be the best. If I would love to jump into the game if I could be a striker and I could score the goals. So that was my fixed mindset. And Carol Dweck's book really helped me to discover that there was a whole nother world for me by shifting from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. That failure is part of growing. That just because we fail doesn't make us a failure. That we learn from our mistakes, and that was such a huge mindset shift for me, and it's allowed me to push myself and to really take this entrepreneurial journey and take it to where it's intimidating and it's a bit frightening because I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm so excited to be on this journey and to work with mayors and help improve the quality of living in their communities and for all of us. So a couple of the new initiatives that I've been integrated or included in with Thriving Mayor is the Thriving Mayor Show, which I know in the new year I've started to invite different mayors, former mayors and current mayors from around Canada onto the show, and our mayors are super busy, and everyone has told me that they're super interested. They want to be participating. They love the idea, but this time of year before Christmas and as councils are wrapping up for the new year, especially with our pandemic and a lot of the challenges they're facing, is just too busy. So that's going to happen in the new year. My hope for the show is that it gives mayors an opportunity to, well, first of all, for me to get to know them, and then for them to share their wonderful insights and wisdoms and the ways that they're thriving in their personal and professional lives at City Hall and at home. And another initiative that I'm really excited to announce is the Thriving Mayor Skill Academy. And that Skill Academy is an online program where mayors can join. It's kind of like a membership site, and they then can track personal growth. So there's 12 different competencies or areas of personal growth that they could isolate and identify that they want to work towards. And then there's a dashboard where each of the mayors can track their progress. And I, as the coach, the head coach, can come in and I could watch progress and interact with them through email and chat to see how they're doing, and if there's any ideas that I could suggest to them from a coaching perspective. And the other really interesting aspect of Skill Academy is what we call action class. Now, the action classes are going to be offered once a week. And in an action class, it's a 1-hour session where the mayors will log in, and then we'll go over a 10 to 12 minute review of leading personal development or business development book that has been prepared by Read It For Me. We then talk about challenges and goals that the mayors are facing. They write down a little action plan in about 5 minutes. Then we come back into breakout rooms. It's a really close-knit, interactive, collaborative forum for mayors to talk with each other about some of the challenges that they're facing and to brainstorm actions that they can take back to either the home or to town hall or city hall and immediately implement those. And the research has demonstrated that outstanding leaders learn in a slightly different way. They take the information that they need, which is great with Read It For Me because it condenses the essence of a book down into 10 to 12 minutes. And then they learn in groups, they work in groups, they collaborate. And that's the power of the Skill Academy. It's very exciting. So, and I'll be there in every class leading it and getting insight. The other thing I just wanted to say is that this is all brand new to me. And obviously I'm here to serve, and I need to serve in a way that makes most sense, in a way that is most beneficial. And I can't do that in isolation. I need to do that by hearing back from mayors. And that's another really exciting, fun, and interesting part of my journey, is reaching out to the mayors and hearing from them how best I can serve. So what I've also will be able to do in Skill Academy is learn firsthand, what's working, what's not working, how do we make it better? So this is an evolution as well. So it's about 20 past the hour. I'm just going to go in and see if we have any visitors sending in any chats. We don't have any yet. I just wanted to take this opportunity today to share some of my thoughts, my story, how I got here to the Thriving Mayor Show, and just encourage people, especially mayors, to reach out to me. The website is www.thrivingmayor.com. And on that site, you can link into a 50-minute, what I call a legacy launchpad call. And that call it's 50 minutes, and we can just chat about an issue that you might be facing, or to talk about the show or Skill Academy, or maybe doing some coaching. And then the podcast and the Skill Academy and the show. So we can link to all those different places from that website. So with that, I'm going to sign off. And next week, I hope to have a special guest on as well, which will be December 16th, and we'll be starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Time again. So I hope everyone has a wonderful week, and I'll see you then. Thank you for joining the Thriving Mayor Show. Make sure to like and share, and tell your friends and colleagues. Mayors are awesome and are the change agents to enhance the quality of living for over 80% of us. Remember what Coach Wooden said: you cannot live a perfect day without doing something for someone who can never repay you. Much love and peace. Until next time.